Chords and Coffee number 52. We've reached the end of 2022 anyway. We're going to keep going. Everybody ought to know how to play this next song. Auld Lang Syne. Auld Lang Syne is one of those tunes. I hope you get a New Year's gig at some point in your life. And if you don't, I hope you get the opportunity to at least be in a room full of people where you got your guitar and you can play this beautiful song written by the Scottish poet Robert Burns. And what other song has as much, I don't know, like introspection and hope for the future just beautifully woven through it, that everybody knows, that everybody starts singing, that almost invariably everybody, sort of gets shoulder to shoulder and start to sway. I realize in many instances there are, adult beverages involved that help lend to that. However, even without that, it's a powerful tune. It's a powerful tune that brings people together. And so on that premise alone, I just want you to know how to play it. So we're going to take a look at it. So it's in F. Most times I've done it, it seems like for whatever reason, there's a few keys, F and B flat. Comment below if you know why. I would love to talk about this. But F, B flat, what else? Seems like folks like to sing in those keys. And then in a lot of the modern church stuff, D and G for the obvious reasons that the guitar, kind of lends itself to those keys. But it seems like for the most part, if you're just getting folks to sing on a drop of a dime, most everybody can feel comfortable in F, right? So we're doing it in F. We're going to learn an F, and we're going to learn it with the capo, and we're going to learn it capo 5. Okay, so go ahead and plop that on there, and we're going to do it as though it's in the key of C. And this song starts on the 5, and so you're going to start on the G. Should all... But we're not just going to start on any G. We're going to start on this kind of fancy pants G7. It's actually a G9. And so here's what we're going to do. Middle finger on the... So again, I'm capoed on the 5th fret, and I'm going to talk about these frets as though they are frets 1, 2, and 3, when in reality they are frets 6, 7, and 8. Okay? So capo, so 3rd fret, so fret 8. You with me? Good. Thumbs up. Put a thumbs up in the comments. There you go. All right. So middle finger on the 3rd fret. Skipping the A, we're going to have ring finger on 3rd fret of the low E. Ring finger on the 3rd fret of the D. Pinky on the 3rd fret of the B. And then index finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the G. And you're going to have this great... It's really like honestly, it's more like a G13 kind of shape here, right? But in this case, it's a C13. Should, and then just a good old C chord. And if you want to put the G in the bass or the C in the bass of this F chord by throwing your ring finger on that low E of the 3rd fret and then pinky on the 3rd fret of the A, more power to you. It won't hurt anything, but you don't have to. So this song is basically like a 50s doo-wop style chord progression where you have 1, 6, and then 1, 6, and then the minor 2, and then 5. Okay, I looked at the page and I saw the G minor and I played the wrong chord. Anyway, 1, so C to A minor 7 to D minor to G, right? And so all I'm doing is just regular cowboy C, and then to A minor 7, I'm just taking my ring finger off. So I've got my index finger on the 1st fret of the B. G is open, 2nd fret of the D. And then, of course, the A is open. And then on this D minor 7, I'm just laying my index finger across the 1st fret of the B and the high E. And then middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D. Open D string. And then a G, just good old more than words G. And then, that's middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E, and then ring and pinky on the B and E, respectively. So, should all acquaintance be forgot? Each one of them are getting 2 beats. Now, when you get to this, and never brought to mind, that part, we're going to go C, C major 7, C dominant 7, and then F. And so how do we do that? So good old C, take your index finger off. So you've got that, and never brought to, and then, so just take your index finger off to make the C major 7, and on the C dominant 7, put your pinky down on the 3rd fret of the D, just like that, and then F, and really we're gonna do F major 7, right? And so index finger on the 1st fret of the B, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G, pinky on the 3rd fret of the D, ring finger 3rd fret of the A, and then high E is open, low E is nothing. And then this, so this is the first little diminished chord that I was thinking about when I was thinking about, well, what should we learn? It's like this song, and this song is also a great introduction if you don't know diminished chord. Diminished chords are a 1, a flat 3, and a flat 5, and any one of those notes can be the root. So what's cool about them, if you keep your pinky finger a 1/6 apart, it's basically like you're playing the inversions of each one. So once you learn one diminished chord and you learn the mathematical relationship that you can slide it up and down with, then you know all the inversions because it's a symmetrical chord, right? Anyway, it's a cool chord. This one, we're going to put our index finger on the, so again, we're thinking of this as though this is the first fret, right, which is the 6th fret, 7th fret's the 2nd, 8th fret is the 3rd, 9th fret, and then 10th fret. So as you get higher, it gets harder and harder to transpose. So I'm just going to call this the 10th fret. 10th fret on your pinky, right, on the high E. And then middle finger on the 9th fret of the B, ring finger on the 10th fret of the G, and then index finger on the D of the 9th fret. So one more time to get back into that. And never brought to mind, should all. And then you're just going to go up and play that guy. Should. And then back to a C. And then A minor. And then D minor. And then a G. And then right here, you can do either this diminished thing, or this is kind of nice too. Think of this as an E chord over a G sharp, right? So in this case, I'm just making an E chord here where my capo is, and I'm going to put my pinky finger up here on the 9th fret, and I'm not playing the A string at all, and then to an A minor, and then D minor, G, back to C. So that whole thing one more time. And never brought to should all, A minor, D minor 7, G, E over G sharp, A minor, D minor 7, G, C. And now back to that G we did for the start of the tune. C, A minor, D minor 7, G, C, C major 7, C dominant 7, F, that diminished will take, A minor, D minor, G, 4, and that's the whole tune, right? So it's a pretty simple tune. If you take the capo off and you approach these chords that are in the book, there's a couple little nice things. Back to that diminished thing. So if we go, should all acquaintance be, check this out, forgone ending. So this is another way to do that same progression. In this case, I'm going from, instead of doing the what I was doing up here, which was, think of this as almost like an A7 over a C sharp, I'm doing a C sharp diminished 7. So it's a diminished chord with a flat 7. And it looks just like, honestly, it looks like a like a C natural dominant 7, just with C sharp in the bass. And so that is middle finger on the 4th fret of the A, ring finger on the 5th fret of the D, index finger on the 3rd fret of the G, and then pinky on the 5th fret of the B to the D minor, right? You decide which one you like, but that, for the most part, is the way that tune shakes out. That's a great song. You ought to know how to play Auld Lang Syne, and that's one of those that you can kind of loop forever. I highly recommend doing a couple verses of that, and then do a some kind of little instrumental play on top of that, and then go back to it, kind of a broke down thing, and then do one more big ramp up. And if you really want to go for just the solid, cheesy, goldy goodness of the moment, if the warm fuzzies are that rich in the atmosphere, do a key change. Do like a whole step key change up to G if everybody can handle it, and that would be just over the top. If you want a good example of that, it's not Auld Lang Syne, but it's at the end of Meet Joe Black, when Anthony Hopkins is getting ready to go on to the next world. They do Oh What a Wonderful World, and I think they do a few key changes in there, and they just keep it going that way, and it's really powerful. And you could do that with this kind of thing, because the melody is so strong. The melody is so strong, you can, having a few different key changes would support it. And if you're doing it with the capo, the easiest thing to do is just to start it lower with the capo and then move it up to F. If you can sing that low. If you can't sing that low, then just, maybe just do it in the one key. And, a big old acapella verse, also is another way to have a big, kind of come together moment. So hope that helps you. Speaking of helping you, I want to thank all you guys for helping me. I want to thank you for just a year full of encouragement, a year full of awesome comments that have been left here. And I have a ton of great ideas for going into 2023. We've got one more episode coming up, and I've got kind of a cool surprise for you on that. I'm excited about that. We'll be actually filming that here in the next few days, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I wanted to tell you really quick, too, since we're not totally done with Christmas time, if you're on Spotify, I have a Spotify Christmas song list called Hark the Christmas Retail Playlist. And it's what we play in the store. And I have curated a bunch of old classic as well as some new cool Christmas songs. There's a killer rendition of God Rest You Merry Gentlemen done by Israel Houghton. If you don't know him, he was a worship leader and killer, oh my gosh, just incredible musicianship. It's called Tidings. So good. And then there's, I've got some country stuff on there. Casey Musgraves, Glittery is a great Christmas song. Amanda Shires, Blame It on the Mistletoe is a good one. Of course, I got Merle, If We Make It Through December, and Dolly Parton, Hard Candy Christmas. And there's a great song by a band called We the Kingdom, which is another Christian band. And they have a song called Still Can't Sleep on Christmas. That's awesome. So there's a lot of good new Christmas songs in there. And there's some also, there's some like other, like PJ Morton has some incredible Christmas, like R&B, like reminds you of like Donny Hathaway era R&B, just great chord changes, great musicianship. It's awesome. So all that stuff is on there. It's on Spotify. It's called Hark the Christmas Retail Playlist. So feel free to follow that if you want to, just listen to what we've been listening to at the store. If you ever want to talk on the phone, 417-882-7000, that gets me. I'm usually at the store Monday through Friday in Springfield at Palen Music. And also, this is the way to get a hold of me, too, through these comments. Be thinking about what you want to do in 2023. We're going to do some different things with Chords and Coffee. I'm excited about it. But hopefully, most of all, the thing that's most important that we cannot and will not ever lose is just, I want this to be a way for me to encourage you. I don't care how old you are or how old you were when you started playing guitar, but it's never too late. You can do this and you should do this. And if you've got a guitar, you ought to sit down with somebody else and show them a chord. You ought to have the experience of giving what you have been given and giving it to someone else. And, This has been a wild year, and I'm encouraged by what we're doing, and I'm encouraged by the fact that you and I, all of us, are doing our part to put something positive and something encouraging out there on the internet. So thank you for that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing these videos and for hitting the subscribe button. And get ready. There's some cool stuff coming. There's some really cool stuff coming. So y'all have a wonderful day. Happy New Year. God bless you. Love you. And we'll see you soon.